Here we go.
Hello guys, I'm Comic Book Movie Fan Productions, and welcome back to the DC Film Retrospective. Today's film is the third installment in Burton's Batman series without Burton or Michael Keaton returning, and taking a live direction in Batman Forever. After Batman Returns was a success, although not as successful as the first film, Warner Bros. Greenlit their sequel. Initially, Burton and Keaton were planning on coming back, and the project was called Batman Continues. That would have kept the same tone as the previous films with only the Riddler as the villain and Marlon Wayans playing Robin. But after Warner Bros. wanted Burton to lighten up the tone, since they thought the main reason why Batman Returns wasn't as big as a hit as the first film was due to parents complaining about how dark the film was. Burton decided to step out of the director's chair and only have a mere producer's credit, and it's only due to him approving Joel Schumacher as the new director. Mainly known prior for directing The Lost Boys and Flatliners, and also directing A Time to Kill, A Millimeter, Phone Booth, and others. He was originally going to make a prequel that kept the same tone and vein as the first two films, but Warner Bros. Denied the idea and forced him to make a straight sequel that was basically for kids. Michael Keaton didn't come out due to him not liking where Schumacher was taking the series, and also wanted to pursue other projects. So after choosing many actors, they got to Val Kilmer, who signed it without reading the script or knowing who the new director was. Along with that, Schumacher got Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, who previously worked with Schumacher on The Client. He was hesitant at first, but took on the role due to his son at the time saying Two-Face was his favorite Batman villain. Billy Dee Williams previously played Harvey Dent in the first Batman film, but due to a clause in his contract, it prevented him from appearing in the sequels, and Warner Bros. Sold off his contract. After many changes, recastings such as Chris O'Donnell's Robin and Nicole Kidman's Dr. Chase, and many on-set issues with the actors and the director not working well with each other, the film got made and released in the theaters in June 1995, where it was a financial hit, but didn't do well with the critics. But it was enough for Warner Bros. To make another sequel, which we'll get to that later on. Now with the history out of the way, let's get into the plot. The film was set a little while after Batman Returns, where Bruce Wayne, now played by Val Kilmer, is still the Caped Crusader. In the beginning of the film, he is thwarted by former DA Harvey Dent, now played by Tommy Lee Jones, who got acid thrown in his face by a mob boss that split his personality into two halves on each side of his face, and now calls himself Two-Face. He tries trapping Batman in a safe with the same acid that messed up his face, but his plan fails. After that, Batman meets Dr. Meridian Chase, played by Nicole Kidman, at the crime scene, where she grows an obsession for him, constantly calling him to meet, but Bruce isn't having it to do what he learned in the previous films, or so we thought later on. But before that, Bruce invites Dr. Chase to the Gotham Charity Circus, where he got invited due to him being one of the biggest donors to the city. At the circus, Two-Face and his men raid the place and ask for Batman to reveal his true identity or he will blow up the circus. Meanwhile, the Flying Graysons, a family of acrobats, try to get the bomb out of there. The youngest son, Dick, played by Chris O'Donnell, gets the bomb out of the circus by pushing it to the top and dropping it in the ocean. But Two-Face's men shoot his mom, dad, and brother, and they all fall down on the circus floor. Bruce takes Dick in and lets him live in the mansion, but mainly is now focused on getting Two-Face. Meanwhile, a scientist for one of Bruce's divisions at Wayne Enterprises, who is a massive fan of Bruce, Edward Nygma, played by Jim Carrey. After Bruce sidelines his brainwaves idea, he quickly grows hatred against Bruce Wayne due to him being mentally insane, and after he tests out his experiment on his boss before killing him, he decides to become a supervillain, making his own costume, name, and his gimmick, which includes giving riddles to Bruce Wayne, which act as clues and calls himself the Riddler. He meets up with Two-Face at his base and describes his plan, which involves him selling his brainwave machine called the Box to the masses of Gotham, which make you fully immersed into what you're watching on TV by feeding information directly to your brain, but also lets Riddler and Two-Face absorb the information to the viewer of whatever they know, from social security numbers, fantasies, and even Batman's secret identity. It becomes a massive success and Nygma gets to the top, getting higher stocks than Wayne Enterprises. And during a party where Nygma reveals a new version of the Box that can make your own fantasies come to life, Bruce gets tricked and his information is absorbed by the Box. Then Two-Face's men raid the place and he suits up as Batman, and nearly gets killed by Two-Face. But Dick saves him as a superhero persona Robin. After he found out earlier in the film that Bruce was Batman, he took the Batmobile off for a spin and fought some bad guys to save a girl. And Bruce is against Dick being his sidekick, not wanting him to go down the same road he did. But after he is saved by Robin, he decides not to be Batman anymore, especially since Dr. Chase isn't that much into Batman anymore, after kissing him and is more into Bruce Wayne now. Bruce spills that he's Batman to Dr. Chase at this mansion, but Two-Face and Riddler invade the place after they find out Bruce is Batman as they take Dr. Chase, knock out Bruce Wayne, and Riddler destroys the Batcave. He wakes up and goes to their evil lair with Robin by his side, after he let him decide his own path. But Robin quickly gets captured and Riddler forces Batman to choose who to save, Dr. Chase or Robin like it's a Saw movie. But he saves both of them from falling to their deaths, as Batman destroys the container that holds all of the information consumed by the box, as the Riddler becomes deformed and even more insane to where he doesn't even make sense anymore, as Two-Face falls to his death after trying to kill the good guys. The movie ends with the city being saved, Riddler being locked up in Arkham Asylum, and Dr. Chase checking on if he knows Batman's real identity after Bruce spilled it to him earlier in the film, after his machine caused him to go insane, and Batman and Robin running together at the screen as credits roll. This film has some cool production design to it. It feels like a mix of Burton's films and Adam West's era. Although it doesn't always work, there are scenes like Robin fighting the guys in the alleyway where it looks really good. Some of the acting is decent in here, mainly Val Kilmer being a decent replacement as Bruce Wayne and Batman, Nicole Kidman, and Chris O'Donnell along with the returning players doing good here, as well as Jim Carrey always bringing his over-the-top sense to his roles. And this is no exception. Plus, I think this is the best we've seen Alfred in this series, spending a lot of time with Bruce and Dick, which are some of the best scenes in the film in my opinion. And the plot of Batman and Robin's relationship was actually quite good, but I do wish they developed it more and gave it more of an arc. The action is once again fun, the soundtrack is catchy, especially with the U2 song that plays during the end credits, and the score also being good again, despite Danny Elfman not returning. And the pacing is a lot better than the previous Batman films, going at quite a fast pace. This is definitely a massive step down from the previous two films. I appreciate trying to switch things up, but the previous films already worked. So why would you change it? Just to sell toys? It makes the film have an odd feel to it, especially when you see films getting killed on screen. A big mistake this film did is not fully rebooting the series. It basically changes up all the actors and settings for the previous films and barely references the first two films. Especially how Bruce makes the same mistakes he does as the previous films with falling in love with the girl and revealing his identity. Which the romance is even worse here, not because of the actors, but once again is rushed and not even investing either. Another problem is with the villains. They suck. They are one of the main reasons why this film is so dragged down. Tommy Lee Jones is incredibly miscast here as Two-Face, not only with the bizarre recasting, but he can't do over the top in the shows. He's way better as a straight face in a duo, which he would later do in the Man in Black trilogy with Will Smith that I talked about in the Marvel Imprint retrospective earlier. He just wasn't right for the character, and this character was atrocious. Plus the makeup wasn't convincing either, nor was he fun. Jim Carrey tries his hardest in this role, but he is so annoying here as the Riddler. First, his character is basically Syndrome from The Incredibles, except a lot more rushed and with no real motivation. He just becomes a supervillain for no reason, and goes after Batman with no explanation, not knowing it's Bruce Wayne he's targeting until the third act. And with having two over-the-top villains, apart from their designs, they don't really stand out and are just there to wreak havoc. The film's story isn't that interesting and plus it's so safe to where it's not even super investing to watch, along with this being the most inconsistent movie ever made. Like how Dick finds out Bruce is Batman and his first choice is to steal the Batmobile because it's cool. Then he blames Bruce for the death of his parents for one scene, then he wants to be a superhero. Or how Bruce makes the same mistakes as the previous films but now he doesn't kill, which is basically what he did in the previous films, and tells Dick not to kill people because it doesn't make you feel better. But then he kills Two-Face at the end of the movie. You see what I mean? It gets quite frustrating how much this film ignores continuity like an X-Men film, but tries to act like it's in the same series. And the direction isn't that good either and definitely feels like the studio's vision rather than Schumacher's. Also, why are there nipples on the Batsuits in this movie? Overall, Batman Forever isn't good nor is it bad. I find it quite mediocre. It's a massive step down from the previous Batman films, and it's obvious that this was the studio's vision, not the director's, just so they can sell more tickets. It does have its upsides like the production design, some of the acting, soundtrack, action, some interesting new subplots, some good character moments in development, plus it moves at a fast pace. But with its terrible villains, its contrived story, tons of plot holes, ignoring continuity with the previous films and character motivations, the lighter tone not working as well, and having a lot of frustrating moments throughout, it evens out to being in the middle. If you're a massive Batman or comic book fan, this isn't the worst Batman film you can watch, but at the same time, there are so many other Batman films that are way better than this one. And due to how forgettable this one is, I don't see myself watching this one again. I'd give Batman Forever a C, a 5 out of 10, and an I don't know, it depends on your taste recommendation. So that's Batman Forever. What do you guys think about it? Leave your thoughts in the comments and please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I'm Comic Book Movie Film Productions, and this isn't the last DC film review because justice needs to be served.